wristband. I got you, bro. I got you, Tyra. I got you, baby. I got you. Okay, I got you. I got you. Come on, man. I ain't gonna let you run like this, bro. Come on, man. It's not gonna let you go, man. Tyra's straight. Tyra's straight. Come on, man. Come on with it. Come on, Tyra. Come on, Tyra. Get back in the house. No! No, no! Oh, no! Oh, no!
Sungrown? Sup? This the tank. You gotta clean it. So first thing you gotta do is you gotta take your tank cover off. There are many variations of let me turn this down real quick. There are many variations of tank covers you can use. You can buy them from PetSmart, whichever big chain store you want to go to or not. But the important thing to do is to make sure your tank is covered. The reason why, if you have a tropical tank and or an African tank, and in my case I have several. There's a tank there, there's a tank above, and there's a tank over here too. That's a quarantine and a grow up tank. So what you want to do is you want to make sure your tank is covered, prevent fish from jumping out. You have several fish that jump out, including at my parents' house. My parents have like a 120 or 150 tank, and they had a knife fish jump out the tank. And I think they've had several fish jump out the tank. Hold on. Are you trying to cause a tear in the cosmos? Out DIYing the coldest DIYer of all time? This can't be. Yeah. I'm basically trying to do that. What I'm trying to do is educate Tyra as to how to clean his tank and maintain his shit. Because you never really see Tyra clean that tank. You never really see fish in the tank. Right now, you probably can't see the tank too great because it needs a cleaning, right? I got, and here's a very common misconception that an algae eater such as a pleconomus, a suckerfish, is going to clean all this. I have one suckerfish in this 75 gallon, and that's a clown pleconomus, and he's only about maybe 2 inches. He'll max out around 3 or 4. You don't want your pleconomus getting like too big. Some of the pleconomus out there get about 18 inches. Let me get on camera so you guys see what that looks like. 18 inches for pleconomus. They get about that big. And at that point, they stop eating algae. Pleconomus or algae eaters, they don't always eat algae all alone. They need meat. They need plant protein and so forth. So you want to keep them from jumping out the tank too. So that's why it's important to have a tank cover. The cheapest way to go, and lucky for me, my dad had a couple sheets of glass. So I just put those on top of the tank. It also helps keep the heat in the tank. Again, South American and or African tanks, it's easier to maintain temperature in the tank if you have it covered as opposed to an open top like this one I have below. And just hold on, let me clear up the chat real quick. I had some fish jump out of my tank years ago. It was very traumatic as I was only about 10 years old. And the worst thing about that exposing king is when they're expensive as hell. So with that said, let me take off the top of this tank. I'm a live stream Sungrown's chat or his audio, so you guys have a little bit of background while I take off the tank. It's also important to use this stuff too. Aquarium salt. It's not table salt, but what that does, it just helps healthy gill function and the closing of wounds. Excuse me. Yeah, that's a video of Tyra getting arrested. So I'm just gonna take them off glass pane by pane, one by one. Again, it helps keep the heat in the tank, keeps them from jumping out. So tank covers serve multiple purposes, multiple ways. Just like Jim driving the Indy multiple times, multiple ways. Many ways to get to Rule Street. Once you get off the highway, get off at Keystone, or you can go to Rule Street. And you're not too far from Tyra's house. Matter of fact, Tyra's old house is on Keystone, or Donna's house, I should say. Yeah, this side got the tank cover got a little bit messy because I was cutting up worms and feeding them. Mainly, the worms went in there for the more predator fish. But the only problem, the only problem is the mess. Yeah, so I gotta get this piece of cucumber out there. Yeah, I put a piece of cucumber in there for him too. And yeah, so you gotta turn off your electronics first, Tyra. So the first thing you want to do is you want to turn off your heater, if applicable, and then you want to turn off any pumps, filters, air bubblers, so forth. It's not good to run them with the water low. It's kind of like running your engine with no oil in it, which is kind of like what your fucking dually sounds like. So what I got to do is I got to go behind the tank to the extension cord and turn off all the accessories to this tank. I'm going to clean out the 50-gallon later. Not this time. Hold on. Let me keep up with the chat. I caught you live. Yeah. Thanks, MVP. Glad you could make it. Thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Don't nobody want to watch you clean your fish tank. Okay, after Sam. Okay. This is a DY for Tyra. If you're not satisfied with the content, let me get you up on out of here. So I'm going to give you one more chance to say something slick, and I'm going to get you up on out of here. Hang on here. Let me turn off this damn. Where this one goes? So I got to turn off. So you got to make sure you plug out your heating element. So there it goes. So the heater is plugged out. Make sure that the negative and the female prong, the male and the male prong, the power outlet's away, everything's clear. You want to then, I'll leave my light on when so I can actually see what I'm doing. And then you want to go ahead and plug out your pump. So I got to reach back here and plug out the pump. The filter, I should say, the filter. Because again, you don't want to run your filter too low. Let me read this chat real quick. They're trying to make it play at your intelligence. I'm not worried about that, man. Don't clean your fish tank with a gun strapped to your hip. You know what? Maybe I should go get my. Hold on, let me go get my gun. There it go. There it go. There it go right there. So now I got my gun on my hip. See this, Tyra? I wear my gun when I damn clean my fish tanks. I don't want them shits to jump out and attack me. Let me make sure the thing is loaded. Nah, I mean, you figure deal with me? Gun on my hip when I clean my damn fish tank. How about that? You don't clean your fish tank with a gun strapped to your hip. Read the truth. Yeah, the real true free man way. Yeah, with a gun on your hip. Clean the damn fish tank. So then what you want to do is you want to get all the rocks or whatever hiding elements or whatever things you have in your tank. Of course, you want to leave your filter and your heater in there. You can take them out to clean them if you want, but I don't really need to clean out my heating element. As a matter of fact, not matter of fact, but you have to say matter of fact. I have to move it to the back center of my tank in order for the heat to distribute properly. And notice my DUIs, I actually talk. So let me go ahead and move some of these elements out. Always important to keep buckets around. You want to make sure there's no chemicals in it. So if you can get a bucket that was used for a non-chemical, or you know what I'm saying? So basically you ain't trying to infect your tank when you put your stuff back in. You figure deal with me? All right, so, oh, very important, when you put your hands in your tank, make sure there isn't like any strong chemical on your hand, obviously. But even when you wash your hands before you put your hands in your tank, you don't want to use a lot of soap. You want to avoid that. You don't want to bring any foreign chemicals or contaminants inside your tank. Is that a flare gun? Nah, man, it's a real gun. Because if any dick in the booty fish want to start some shit, I'm gonna put them 6 feet under. They're gonna be right next to Kenny. Tank on the floor. Is that mainly a fish or prefer the dark? Actually, the fish on the bottom here, that's a green terror, and he got his ass whooped because he was getting jiggy in this tank. So I had to move him where he couldn't get jiggy and get his face broke. So right now he's in quarantine in a 50-gallon because the other fish in here were beating his ass. They were going hard body on him, so I had to move him, quarantine. Anyhow, like I say, you gotta pull out all this stuff here, hide in rocks. True Freeman, why we never see you clean your damn tank? Why is that, Tyra? You don't take care of your kids, and you damn well don't take care of your tank. Oh, shit, what happened here? Okay. I used to have some other fish that would bite my hands when I put my hand in the tank because they were breeding up. Show your face. If you don't show your face, you can't come to my chat.
Oh, God.
That sounds like Tyra. I gotta make sure that my you want to double check, make sure you don't have any fish that are like attached to your rocks too. Sometimes you'll have eggs if they're breeding up, and when that happens, that's when you notice a spike in aggression. Everybody starts to get real jiggy. You figure deal me? So check your stuff when you pull it out, your items, your hiding caves, that you don't have egg sacs or clusters of eggs or even fish or baby fish before you take them out for extended period of times.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Want to make sure you have more than one bucket too. Because right now this bucket's running out of space. I mean, I can read the chat, but I can't really type back, you know what I mean? Because for obvious reasons, my hands are full. You figure deal me? So I got to make sure there's no fish, no eggs. SungrownT Trichrome, chillin' broski. What up, Sonny? He has no fish. Yeah, Tyra has no fish. Peace of the sun, peace to the earth, peace almighty. What did I say? Shuffle, shuffle. I'm pretty sure he's the only disgusting that on the back end. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, because Vic just said it. All right.
How are you guys doing? Hey, Chance. Hello. How are you doing?
I got to get another bucket going.
Arrest. One.
Since this don't let that get shown. Can't let that get shown. You know what I mean? Gotta keep that low, out of sight, out of mind. Figure deal me? All right. So again, you want to check, make sure you don't have any egg clusters on your ornaments, rocks, what have you. Put them in the bucket. Oh, there's a baby fish. And there goes my pleco. I see I was shaking out the rock. A baby fish popped out, which is called fry. and he'll probably get ate up if I don't get him out of there quick. And my pleco just came out. My Pleconomus. That's a bottom fish feeder, kind of like Tyra, bottom feeder. I'm gonna see if I can catch him. He's usually pretty easy to catch. Come here. Come, oh, got him. Dropped him. Come here. Or I'm gonna pull him out and show you guys my Pleconomus. If he holds still. Hang on, here we go. He's still a baby. I don't know if it's really gonna show him up. That's just a baby. Sucker fish. So I'm gonna put him back. Alright. Back to the cleaning. Do you plan on getting more tanks and more fish? Of course, this is a very addictive hobby. Can you give me a vague time frame? Discussing that on the back end. My hands are full at the moment. Truffle. Oh shit! I dropped my gun. Accidental discharge. Shit! Accidental discharge. It's important to keep your gun on safety when you're cleaning your fish tank. I just had an accidental discharge. It's not good. I could have shot my toe off. Cha-ching, yeah. Let's share that information on the back end pertaining to Tyra. Yeah, if you guys think I was joking, you could put a cucumber in the tank and they'll have at it. That's what they do. They need their veggies too. African and South American cichlids. Kind of look like Tyra just had his way with it. No, but that's the fish. The fish actually eat vegetables. Alright, so the hard part is I gotta clean this tank with it's not a penis pump, it's actually called a Python. It's basically a suck tool. I already have it hooked up to a water pipe. And you want to submerge this. But the problem that I'm having now is that I actually have babies in here, and there's no way for me to really try to filter them out and instead of having them get sucked down the drain. So that's the bad thing about not being able to catch babies early, because you tend to lose them when you clean your tank if you're not careful enough. So let me go ahead and get this last ornament out of here. Shake it out, make sure no eggs, no babies. And let these dick in the booty fish know that I still got my gun on me. And if they try to get jiggy, the whole tank's getting shot up. Let me go turn on this pipe real quick. So what's happening now is the vacuum effect. Like I said, it's basically a giant siphon. And this is why you want to make sure that your heater's turned off and that your filter's turned off. And what you want to do is you want to run the pump through the gravel, just back and forth like you would with the vacuum. And what you want is just to basically peck it to the bottom of the tank through the gravel. If you have sand, it's a different technique. But essentially what you want to do is get all the fish poop and all the uneaten food out of the gravel. Now there are fish that actually do this. They're called geophagus. They're a South American fish. But depending on how many fish you have in your tank, it'd be impossible for them to keep up. It also depends on what you feed your fish as well. Because obviously the carnivore fish and the omnivore fish are going to produce more waste. It's kind of like eating a veggie diet versus eating Burger King every day, which is going to give you more waste. And the level of waste in your tank contributes to your ammonia in your tank, your nitrate levels. This is all stuff Tyra has no clue about. Because he's a dick in the booty fish owner. Matter of fact, his tank is empty. You figure deal with me? It's always a good idea too to take a dry erase marker and write on your tank the last time you changed the water in the filter. That way you're never really second guessing yourself. You know what I mean? It's a tedious process, I'm not gonna lie. Some people, what they do is they just do a 50% water change. So they'll only like filter out half. Some people usually go 75. You never really want to take all the water out, because what you want to do is you want to leave some bacteria in the water. Just like your intestines, the tank water has a bacteria in it. So you want to have that, as much of that bacteria in the water, the good bacteria, as possible, whilst taking out the bad bacteria, the ammonia and the nitrate, I believe, is the bad one. It can get complicated at first, but once you know your tank, it's not that hard. Managing your nitrate, your nitrite, and your ammonia levels. Let me check on this chat real quick. Son, good news for us. You sure about to be 9 toe? Yeah, Exposing King. I did shoot my toe off. You're not on Hangout, Sonny. Cha-ching. Laugh my ass off, Wago. Yeah. So right now I'm just cleaning out the back half of the tank. You know what I mean? And I still got 2 more tanks to go, but I'm going to do those 2 tomorrow. This tank is the dirtiest of them all because I haven't cleaned this tank through since the 20th. What you want to do is you want to generally clean your tank at the latest once every 2 weeks, depending on what's called a bio load. Obviously, the biological load. The more fish you have, the more poop you're going to have. The more food waste you're going to have. So that's what's called your bio load. And since Tyra's tank is empty, he doesn't really have much of a bio load at all. Tyra is a dick in the booty fish owner. And he has no clue what he's doing. Like I said, it's a tedious task, but in order to have a healthy tank, it's something that needs to be done. Ow! Oh shit, I thought something bit me. And that actually is common. When they're breeding, they will get territorial like that, and they will bite you. It's happened to me in the past. And a lot of these fish actually have teeth. Or if you're tired, you say T-E-F. Or T-E-E-F, teeth. And there are fish out here that can draw blood. Several of the fish in my tank, when they fully grow up, will draw blood if they bite you. Now, they ain't got teeth like Tyra. but the teeth are pretty vicious. You want to make sure that your gravel doesn't go all the way down and jam up your siphoning tool. You'll see me pick it up and shake it out. Just bounce it off the glass a bit. You want to get all the fish poop and all the brown stuff, which is decaying food particles. And again, the more often you clean your tank, the easier and faster this process is. And as you get to know your tank, you'll know that certain spots in your tank hold more waste than others. Like for me, I got my filter on the opposite side, over this side. So this side tends to hold more fish poop and more waste. Basically, dead zones for the filter. And this is why it's important to have something called like a power head, which basically increases the flow of water in your tank, the circulation of the heat. You can direct that wherever you want, because you don't want to have stagnant water. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's a tedious process. I know it's not extremely entertaining, but it can be somewhat informative to those that don't know, including Tyra Jamel Moore, 911 North Rule Street, Marion County, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46201. You want to get all that, what's called tritus, out the tank. And because the last time I cleaned this tank was over 2 weeks ago, this tank is loaded and I got to come back before the end of next week and do this all again. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to do a 50% water change. So I ain't trying to be out here all night. Usually takes me about an hour and a half to get everything done top to bottom. But in reality, oh shit, there goes the baby fish. Let me see if I can get him. Can I get him? Is that him? No, that ain't him. The fuck is that? What the fuck is that? I thought that was the baby fish, but it ain't. I probably already sucked up the baby fish by now. He's probably already long gone. I got one earlier this week and I put him in the quarantine tank with the green terror, but the green terror probably ate his ass up by now. That green terror is in the quarantine tank because he ain't eating too much. He was under stress from getting his ass whooped. Alright, I'm going to scrub the back of the tank where the algae eater didn't get to all that. Like I said, he's only a baby. There's only so much he can do. So you take your brush, much like Tyra doesn't use on his body or his teeth, and you scrub the side of the tank. You want to make sure it's pre-wet first. You don't need to press too hard. You're just getting the algae that builds up off the back of the tank. And you don't want to get all of it off. You want to leave some if you got plecos, right? Because the algae eaters and the plecos, they'll eat most of it. Another good thing to have in your tank is snails. I used to keep snails in the tank. I mean, I could always get more, but my fish eat snails. That's the only problem. I got fish in my tank that basically eat anything that moves, including each other, and that's actually happened. So I'm just going to lightly clean the algae off the back of my tank. kind of like the algae Tyra has grown on his gold tooth. And what builds algae is when you have too much light. Like, for example, I should have turned my light off a couple hours ago. So that means you either have an abundance of light or an abundance of oxygen in your tank. But algae is also a food source for some of the fish, so it kind of works out. Scrub the front of the tank, much like Tyra doesn't scrub his body or his teeth. Like I said, I'm only doing a 50% water change today. I know it's not the most exciting video. I'm surprised I actually have people watching this, to be honest. But it's just a DIY, and I hope everybody learns something, that getting a fish tank is actually more than just watching them. You actually got to clean it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You got to scrub it. You got to change the water. You got to make sure your water parameters are right. Otherwise, your fish will get sick. Like the green terror. I think he got sick because he's just under stress. You know what I'm saying? Like fish, they have a hierarchy. Kind of like when Tyra, when Tommy went to Indy, and Tommy became the king of Indy. It's the same thing when you put a new fish in the tank. Like the Tyra fish will try to say, "Who are you? I'm gonna break your face," and then depending on the gender or the aggression level of the Tommy fish that comes in the tank, they'll punk off the Tyra fish, and that's pretty much what happens. So the green terror had to go. I put him in a tank where he couldn't get jiggy anymore. I think other fish were getting jiggy with him. And my green terror is a male, so I thought he would at least fight back, but he was getting his ass whooped multiple ways. So I had to hurry up and get him on up out of there. So he's in the quarantine tank below, and I got like a little 20-gallon right here with the female red tiger. The male red tiger's in here. As a matter of fact, there you go. Let me see if I can catch him real quick. Come here. I'm going to show him to you guys. See if I can catch him. Where'd he go? There he is. The red tiger's going to hit about maybe 14 inches. Got him. So he's still a baby, but he's a very aggressive. He's feeding very aggressively, which I like. I don't know if I'll be able to show him on camera too well. Here go my red tiger. I don't know if he's showing up. That's him. He's probably like 2-3 inches. I got him and he was like maybe 2 inches. That's a red tiger. He's related to a jaguar and a doveye. That's what they're related to. He's going to hit about 14 inches. His name is Tyra. He's a South American. So I'm just going to double check on the chat. It's always good to keep a towel nearby your tank. And that's one thing I did not do this time. I did not keep a towel nearby this tank because you want to. Let me see. Let me keep on the chat. Do the fish form gangs with the tank ecosystem like any fish gangs in the dime life? That's actually a very good question. Yes, they do gang up. I got a couple fish here. Okay, here's what happens when they gang up. When they pair off, male and female, and they're breeding, then they gang up. Real shit. I'd watch this on one of mantis shrimp. I actually had a shrimp in here, but my convict cichlids, and I think that's the best way to describe Tyra. If Tyra were a fish, I think he and his little brothers would be convict fish, because they're called convict fish because they're you don't want them around. How often should a person clean their tank? I think I answered that. You want to clean your tank probably like once a week. That's the optimum to clean your tank. Let me get this damn calendar out of here, man. I dropped some water up on my shit. Yeah, the fish do gang up, and you want to clean your tank once a week, if you can. Depending on the size, the larger your tank and the quality of your filter, the less you have to. Some people say the key to keeping a clean tank is having a really good filter, and some would say that cleaning their tank is to keep your tank clean. The best thing you can do is water change. In theory, water change honestly is the best thing to do. You can have a not high quality pump and filter and all that, but if you change your water, you do your 50% water change by the week. Like that's you would have a cleaner tank and a better water ecosystem than me with like a $300 filter, and I only change my water once a month. Can the water be substituted with skull? If they're Tyra fish, yes. If the fish are bred at 911 Rule Street, yes. So I still have to move my heater. I gotta move it to the back of the tank as opposed to over here in the side because the heat's not being distributed properly, I should say. It's kind of like Tyra having rad heating in the house because they don't have central heat in that house. That's why if you go to Tyra's Facebook, you can see him buying all them damn space heaters from the auction. Go look at Jim's video. You ain't gonna see nothing that says central heating in that house. That house has no central heating, no central air. So in theory, my fish tank can stay warmer than Wayne's house. Yeah, I'm gonna come back and clean this tank on Friday. I ain't gonna stay here and try to get everything out this tank. What the hell was that? Alright. I guess I'll see what that thing is in the back end. Yeah, what I'm using is called a Python. And it's just basically a large siphoning tool. You hook it up to a faucet. This one is actually over 50 foot. It comes with all the adapter tools, and it helps you basically siphon the water out the tank. You want to siphon at least 50% of the water out the tank. Optimal results, you want to do it once a week as opposed to staying online for like 19 hours, Tyra. That's why all your fish are dead. Oh shit, that's not good. That's not good. Oh shit. That's not good. The acrylic in the corner snapped. I hope that doesn't lead to this tank leaking. I really hope that does not lead to this tank leaking. That is not good. I am not trying out to buy a new tank. So I'm gonna have to be careful. I'm gonna have to watch that. That's the thing. I bought this tank used, and I've roughly got about 3 years out of it. I'm on borrowed time, I think. And the saddest thing is that it usually costs more to repair them than it is to buy a new one. Ain't that a bitch? So I'm gonna have to mind that corner. Just want to scrub the front, kind of like how Tyra doesn't scrub his teeth. I'm gonna go ahead and do want to have several buckets nearby. Always good to have a bucket nearby. Keeps the water from getting where it doesn't need to be. I'm going to go ahead and move my heater to the appropriate spot. Once again, you want to have these things plugged out before you go moving them around. Very important to plug out your heater because you don't want to electrocute yourself. This particular heater is using about 150 watts, I believe. 150 watts, something like that. So combine that with water if you're having a bad day. So you want to make sure that's all plugged out. This tank, I keep it at around 78 degrees, which is fairly warm. The warmer your tank, the more active your fish. So that's something to keep in mind with how much they eat and their aggression level.
Get hooked up, get a little light fade on the back end. Little light fade on the back end.
Big a deal with me? Ah, shit. Let me use 2 hands like I should be doing. Alright, that's more than 50%. So I'm going to go ahead and now it's going to be pumping water back in. Let me check on this chat real quick. Do you want to be white? You don't want to be white down, do you? Yeah, I'm not trying to get caught. So, but if Tyra wipes me down, we'll see what happens. Your fisher will probably gang up and kill you. It's not advised. That tank is getting wiped down. Literally, yeah, that tank was getting wiped down. All right. But I hope I didn't spring a leak in the corner here. Guess we'll soon find out. So now the water's pouring back in. I want to put my ornaments back in because right now they're under stress because they don't have anywhere to hide and their water level's getting low. Tyra, we need to see you clean your tank. I'm going to take these cucumbers out. They've been in there a couple days. I think they ate all that they're going to eat of them. So you can see that this thing is now pouring water back in. Again, that's called a python. Self-explanatory. It's not new to this, it's true to this, you know what I mean? You figure deal with me? I'm gonna let that stay right there. I'm gonna do a fizzle. I'm gonna go ahead and let you do your fizzle. You know what I mean? What the hell was that? Okay. Shit. I haven't been bit by my fish in a while. Those were the convicts, the Tyra fish. I got rid of them. I only got one left. What's also important too is if you're having aggression issues in your tank, you can always rearrange. Oh shit! You can, and you want to watch out for that too. You can always rearrange the setup of how you have your stuff in your tank, and what that does is it confuses the fish and it throws off the hierarchy. And if you throw off the hierarchy, then you should be able to throw off the aggression level. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to arrange things a little differently from what they were last time, and hopefully that will ease up some of the aggression level that's in this tank. I got too many fish in here trying to get jiggy. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna move some stuff slightly around, and this is why I need a bigger tank. The age of this tank doesn't help anything either. So I got to keep an eye on this tank tonight, see if there are any leaks out the far right-hand corner. And I got to take care of the filter too, but I'm going to do that off camera. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I ain't going to hold you guys all night. I want to thank those who stopped by, those who viewed this video after the fact, or after the fact, as Tyra would say. And thank God I didn't have to use my gun tonight on these damn dick in the booty fish. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go up and go ahead and get up on out of here. I want to thank those who stopped by. Let me double check this chat real quick. I'm sure there's an aquatic informant. Yeah. There's definitely an aquatic informant. Guaranteed. There's a dick in the booty fish informant in there. But like I said, thank you to everybody who stopped by. Excuse me. I'm going to go up ahead and jump up out of here, and I'm going to be back in Sungrown's chat. I ain't trying to hold you guys all night when I go ahead and clean that filter out. That's kind of a tedious and it's kind of a nasty process. And when you get something, when you get like in the tanks that are like 120 gallon and up, you definitely have to, well, I'd say over 90 gallon and up, you got to be using something that's called like a bucket filter. They kind of look like a giant bucket. But those filters, they get pretty nasty. Yeah, you have to clean them out by hand, but at least you can lift them up, put them in your tub, and dump them out. And you can like basically use a brush to get most of the stuff out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this. You guys, thank you so much for being here. And have a wonderful night. I'm going to be back in Sungrown's chat. Ooh, motherfucking we. Go ahead and cover up this camera.